I don't know if you know much about her, but yeah, I want to go through the list of conspiracy theorists. We thought this would be a good week to let the audience get to know her a little better. Please tell me when it's going south, when the ship is sinking. It's because someone like Trump at the center starts surrounding himself with, he already surrounds himself with pretty crazy people. But this Loomer, ever wonder what happens when a comedian pokes the Trump bear? Bill Maher just found out, and it's wilder than a MAGA hat at a Democratic fundraiser. So, here's one of our favorites. 24 things. For example, my spirit animal was eaten by Haitians. My biggest fear is immigrants taking my job as a right-wing hate monger. One little joke about Melania and Loomer, and suddenly Trump's throwing a tantrum bigger than his border wall plans. Grab your popcorn, folks. This political comedy show's about to get messy. Picture this. Bill Maher is doing his thing on his show, cracking jokes left and right. He's got that smirk on his face. You know the one. Then he drops a bomb about Trump being so desperate he might marry Loomer. Maher probably thought it was just another zinger in his nightly Trump roast. But, oh boy, did he accidentally poke the MAGA bear. At first, crickets. Nobody batted an eye. Come on, it's Bill Maher. The guy's been taking shots at Trump forever. But then, something weird happened. The joke seemed to percolate through the MAGA sphere, and suddenly, boom, total meltdown. Trump's loyal army of supporters started losing their minds faster than you can say. CF, social media, lit up like a Christmas tree, covered in red MAGA hats. Angry rants flooded in, some longer than Trump's ties. Keyboard warriors called for an all-out HBO boycott. Imagine, no more Game of Thrones reruns for the MAGA crowd. It didn't stop there. Some of Trump's more enthusiastic fans foamed at the mouth, demanding Maher's head on a silver platter. Talk about overreaction. Like, they forgot comedians tell jokes for a living. The whole thing spread like fake news on Facebook. Twitter threads longer than Mar-a-Lago's driveway. Facebook posts rivaling War and Peace. And YouTube comment sections exploding with capital letters and exclamation points. And in the middle of the chaos, Bill Maher, probably sitting back, wondering how a joke turned into the political equivalent of stepping on a Lego. He's been poking fun at politicians for decades. But this, next level. Meanwhile, guess who was watching? Yep, Trump himself. And he wasn't about to let this slide. No, sir. Trump fired back with all the grace and eloquence you'd expect from Trump. But here's the twist. He couldn't use Twitter. RIP Trump Twitter days. Instead, he had to settle for Truth Social, which is like yelling into an empty room. Trump's response, he called Maher a low IQ individual. Wow, Donald, did you spend all night thinking of that zinger? It's like his insult. Magic 8 Ball always lands on low IQ. Trump's supporters went wild, sharing his post like wildfire. It was like a game of telephone, except the message didn't get distorted. It just got louder and angrier. But Trump seemed different. Not just mad. Really annoyed. Maher's joke about Loomer might have hit a nerve. Maybe it reminded him of his own marital musical chairs. Who knows? The whole thing made Trump look as thin-skinned as tissue paper in the rain. Instead of brushing it off, he practically steamed like a cartoon character. His supporters tried to rescue him on social media, but it backfired spectacularly. Every defense just led to more ridicule. You'd think after all these years, Trump would have developed thicker skin. Nope. Watching him react is like seeing a bull charge at a red flag, except the flag's a joke, and the bull's wearing a bad toupee. This episode, Just another chapter in Trump versus comedians. A tale as old as time, or at least as old as Trump's political career, his social media spats. Like a personal version of whack-a-mole. Except, instead of moles, it's comedians. And instead of a mallet, it's, well, Trump being Trump. Laura Loomer seems to be taking a page straight out of Trump's playbook. When in doubt, sue. She's not just mad about Bill Maher's joke. She's $150 million worth of mad. Yes, folks. Loomer believes a comedian's quip is worth more than the GDP of some small countries. Talk about a punchline that ended up in court. So what's got her MAGA hat in a twist? Apparently, Maher's little jab about her potentially being Trump's next wife hit a nerve directly connected to her lawyer's speed dial. Before you could say, frivolous lawsuit, Loomer lawyered up. Her attorney, Larry Klayman, is throwing around big words like defamation with malice. He claims Loomer has been directly affected, victimized, and severely damaged by Maher's joke. Poor thing, it seems nobody told her that being a public figure sometimes means people say mean things about you. Who knew? Legal experts are having a field day with this lawsuit. They're laughing harder at Loomer's case than they did at Maher's original joke. Why? Because the lawsuit reads more like a conspiracy theory novel than a serious legal document. Rumor has it they're already eyeing the movie rights. Working title, Loomer versus Laughter, the $150 million chuckle. These same experts say Loomer's chances of winning are about as good as Trump growing a full head of natural hair. Courts tend to protect comedians under this pesky little thing called the First Amendment. You know, that old document that lets people say stuff without being sued for millions. There's even precedent for this sort of thing. Remember when Sarah Silverman got sued for a joke? The judge in that case basically said, "It's a joke, not a stick. Don't take it so hard." Okay, maybe not in those exact words, but you get the point. Courts aren't keen on punishing comedians for doing their job, but don't tell that to Loomer. She's turned this into her own personal crusade against Maher. It's like Don Quixote tilting at windmills. Except the windmill is a comedian, and the lance is a very expensive lawsuit. Meanwhile, Bill Maher is probably kicking back with a cocktail, brainstorming his next joke. This whole situation is comedy gold, handed to him on a silver platter with a side of desperation and a sprinkle of MAGA tears. Bill Maher isn't backing down either. Instead of apologizing, he's doubling down, treating this lawsuit like a comedy goldmine. Late-night hosts like Jimmy Kimmel and Stephen Colbert have also jumped on the bandwagon, turning this into a roast of Trump and his supporters. The right-wing media is losing it. Fox News and Tucker Carlson are treating Maher's jokes like some grand leftist plot. Tucker looks more confused than a cat at a dog park. Trump's campaign team isn't letting this go to waste either. They're turning the controversy into a fundraising opportunity, sending out emails faster than Trump can say fake news. Meanwhile, Melania Trump's silence on the matter is deafening. While Trump and his team throw tantrums, the former First Lady hasn't said a word. Body language experts say she looks as comfortable in public as a vegan at a BBQ. Some speculate she might secretly find Maher's joke funnier than she lets on. After all, who wouldn't enjoy a laugh after years of standing next to the human embodiment of a traffic cone? Others think she's just tired of the endless drama, being married to a human soap opera, complete with bad hair and ridiculous plot twists. Might have worn her out. Whatever the case, one thing's for sure, this whole fiasco is the punchline of a very bizarre joke.